The deeper and deeper I get into my journey, there's one thing that hits me over and over and over again. We are literally having to go against our own nature to make the impossible possible. Now, what do I mean by that? We're going to be going deep into this episode. But before we do, what's the one thing we do every single time without fail is take a deep breath in right now. And a deep breath out. Before we continue, there's one thing that I want to quickly remind you guys. Why do we always take a deep breath in and a deep breath out? You see, if you are someone who's going against your own nature to make the impossible possible, meaning you're going towards your dreams, right? Fear and resistance will naturally arise within the body. Now, your ability to how quickly you can move through that fear and that resistance is your ability to allow the fear to be there. Now, many of us were taught and were conditioned in a way where it's like, no, you must just power through the fear. Yeah, that does work, but it's like you have to understand that energy, that fear within the body needs to be acknowledged and let go of, right? You have to acknowledge it and make peace with it, because if you avoid it, it will find its own way to manifest itself, which will usually look like resistance and self-sabotage. Now, if you don't know what self-sabotage is and how that happens, go and check out this link up here that will help you understand more about self-sabotage. Now, continuing on to the episode, our minds are literally programmed against us, meaning our own nature is against us when it comes to us making the impossible possible. Understand that your very nature, I mean, the way you do things, your habits, the way you even make decisions, it will be very much against the reality that you wish to create. Why? It's because it's clear, right? It's simple. The dream is a dream. It's not a reality yet. It's something you haven't experienced before. It's way out of your comfort zone. Something you're not even comfortable with. So courage, it will be required here. So much of your results will be based on how courageous you are in terms of making any changes in your life. Because anytime you even try to make any changes, the fear, the resistance will be so strong that you're gonna feel like, I can't do this. Maybe it's just not gonna work. Maybe I'm just not ready yet. Maybe it's just not gonna work for me. Maybe I'm not lucky enough. Maybe I'm not good enough. You're going to convince yourself of these stories that will make sense, because the fear is literally so strong and present in your body that your mind is panicking. The ego, it panics in a way. It's trying to figure out, why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling so much pain? There must be something wrong, right? So when you are going against your own nature and you're trying to make the impossible possible, understand that a reality that you perceive as impossible will scare the life out of you. Naturally, you will be terrified. Now, how the masculine will approach this is power through, head first, power through, go through the fear. Yes, it works, but that fear will find its way to manifest. And how the feminine does it is, I am paralyzed. I will wait till I feel ready, and then I will take action. Now, both works, right? Eventually, you can power through, or you can sit there waiting for alignment to happen. But what's the middle ground here? Like, what has worked for me? You see, it's about going towards the fear step by step, not needing to conquer all your fears in one go, but understanding that, you can step into the fear and breathe through it. It's not about the outcome, but it's who you become the moment you step into that cave. You see that quote, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. But it's not the treasure that will change your life, but it's who you become the moment you step into that cave. When you realize that your greatest goal, the goal that you're going to get from any accomplishments in your life, isn't the treasure itself. It's who you become along the way. You see, I wish more of you guys really understood what I'm saying here. Because a lot of us, we want to be promised that there's gold in the cave before we enter it. We want that guarantee, that safety, that we will find the gold. That's how the world has you convinced that the gold is outside of you. But the truth is, the gold is who you become when you go towards what you want. It's not really what you want that changes your life. How am I saying this to you so confidently? Because you're probably thinking, Minas, I don't have it, so therefore I will refuse to understand what you're saying. I don't have it, and once I get it, I will be happy. But the truth is, I say this from experience. Once you achieve something that you believe to be impossible at one point, and now it has become possible for you, you will only get there to realize, okay, what's the next one? Like, your own mind won't be satisfied. Now, you can go do it and then realize, look at your own life. I'm sure you have some reference in the past that you can use to understand what I'm saying here. That moment that you believe to be impossible, once it was done, yeah, there was a little bit, oh, wow, I did it. And then you move on, right? So it's like, why am I saying that you should make peace with the process? Because then the process becomes easier. You start embodying and embracing even the challenges that will show up. Whereas what most of us do when we're going towards what we want, the fear rises, the resistance rises, and what we do is we convince ourselves that something is wrong. You're doing something wrong. And I need to take a step back. I need to step away from all of this because the fear is too strong. But understand that if you want to change your life, you have to push your comfort zone, and it won't be comfortable. You see, every video I make, every single video I've made, my first one, my second one, my third one, my 50th one, my 100th one, oh my God, I've made over 280 podcast episodes now, right? And it's like, the fear is always there. My first ever relationship, my first time I fully committed into a relationship, my first relationship where I'm seeking for marriage, oh my God, the intensity, guys. My first ever £1,000 I've ever made from this coaching. My first £10, my first £100, my first £500, £300, £500, £700, £1,000, £2,000, my first £5,000. Jeez, it never ends. Like, it never really ends. You never get to a stage where you're like, wow, I'm done. I can finally die in peace. That's the paradox. You're never going to reach an end goal here. And the reason I share this with you, because it's like, you have to reduce importance when it comes to the outcome. The outcome isn't what's going to change your life. It's the challenges that comes in the journey that changes your life. Those are the moments you treasure. In fact, those are the moments that you will rely on when it comes to future challenges, because you're going to remember, if I can do it in those moments, I can do it then. I can do it there. I could do it everywhere in my life. You see, it's like going to the gym. When you hit about 50 to 100 kilos, right? I'm benching about 100 kilos, right? Now, you're probably thinking 100 kilos on a bench press. Yes, that's what I'm doing right now. But I remember when I started off just with a bar, and the bar is just 20 kilos. I remember just starting off with a bar. Now I'm at 100 kilos, and it's like, which one was the treasure? Is the treasure? Yeah, of course, it's the 100 kilos. But it's like, at the same time, it's the consistency that I needed to put in from the bar to 100 kilos that is going to be the real treasure for me. That's the information. That's the true wisdom that I'm going to be taking out of the situation. And I'm going to be applying that same wisdom that I've taken out of that situation into other areas of my life. So the reason I share this with you is because you will have to go against your own nature and understand that your mind, the ego, we call the subconscious mind basically, is hardwired to keep you where you are. Literally, like, you sell yourself these reasons, these stories, these excuses that I'm not ready yet. You're never going to be ready though. And then you've got the spiritual aspect of things where they're like, find alignment before you take action. But you have to understand, you can't find alignment because your own mind won't let you seek for it. You won't find it what you're not looking for. You must go looking for it first. Then you'll know what is in your way. You see, there's one thing that I want to quickly tell you guys. Like, you can find alignment and it can happen effortlessly. Like, what do I mean by that? There might be certain things in your life that you really wanted to stop doing or change. And then one thing happened and it, boom, you implemented it like that. Effortlessly. And then you think to yourself, I beat myself up about it for years. And here I am. I just did it like that and now it's easy. Then it makes you wonder, what was all of that about? What was I beating myself up about. Because when the change came, it came easy. Why did I need to beat myself up about it? That is alignment. Now you can sit there waiting for alignment. But I don't know about you guys, but it's like one thing that, really held me back in terms of my social anxiety. I couldn't even leave my own house. So there is a therapy that's called exposure therapy, where you expose yourself to the fear itself. Now, meaning I went exactly where I was afraid to go again and again and again and again and again. I went from someone who couldn't even leave my own house to dancing in the middle of the streets. Yes, someone who couldn't even literally leave my own house. I was dreaming about just being normal again. I danced in the middle of the streets because I was exposing myself to discomfort and anxiety. Has it become easier for me right now? No, it's still as difficult as it ever was. But the thing is, you have to understand, the treasure wasn't me dancing. The treasure wasn't me doing the challenges. The treasure is who I became by going against my own nature. What I understood was my greatest limitation was within my own mind. My greatest limitation was within my own mind. That was the very thing that was holding me back, holding me where I was. And the moment I stood up from those moments where I was dancing in the middle of the streets, or just doing the lying down challenge, I got up and I was like, if I can do this with this part of my life, I can do this with everything. Because I realized my only limitation was the fact that I believed I couldn't. Now, imagine having to find alignment, spiritual alignment, with the part of you that is afraid of doing something, right? Like, you might have experienced a lot of embarrassment as a child, so therefore you carry some form of trauma and pain within you that naturally makes you a bit more introverted, rather than you might yearn to be extroverted, but you just naturally find yourself being introverted. So you have that history there. Now, alignment, what alignment is when you wait for that part of you as a child, that is afraid of embarrassment, afraid of being around too many people, to be on board with the challenge that you are about to do. Meaning that part of you that is introverted is okay with you going out, meeting new friends, making new friends, going into public situations. So it's very much like waiting for an aspect of you that was resistant towards what you wanted, for you to wait for that aspect to be on board. Now, sometimes that aspect of us is enmeshed with a fear and trauma, right? So when you step into it, it's almost like you show that aspect of you that it is safe for you to go there. It's a very masculine approach. You don't have to do this, and you might not have to be able to, or you might not be able to do this with every single person you work with or yourself. Right? You might be a child watching this, and you can't force a child to step into the fears, but you can teach them to be courageous and brave, right? So that is very much what I did, and that is what we do in my program, Quantum Leap. I very much help you become courageous, brave enough to go for change, rather than waiting for alignment to take place. Because the one thing I learned, alignment comes after you realize it's even possible. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like realizing that it's even possible. Because how can you become alignment towards what you want when you don't even know if it's actually even possible or not for you? When you've never even had a taste of that life yet. How are you supposed to align yourself to that reality? How are you supposed to align yourself to a reality that you don't even believe is possible for you? You have to go and taste it first. When you taste it, then alignment happens on its own. This is how we do things in Quantum Leap. What does Quantum Leap mean? It's about making massive amount of changes in a short space of time. Now, I'm looking for 7 more people to work with me in Quantum Leap starting in January 2020. Now, if that's you, make sure you jump on board. There's a link down below. Book a call with me. I'm offering 50% off for every student that is working with me in the new year's 2022. Now, if that's you, click the link down below, book a call with me, and I'll see you guys soon. Now, let's quickly conclude this episode. Your mind, your nature is literally programmed against you. You will find yourself wanting to make the impossible possible and understand only one thing. You realize one thing over and over again every time you make the impossible possible, that your own mind is hardwired against you. Meaning your current reality is going to fight for as much as it needs to keep itself intact and alive. Your current identity will do whatever it can to keep itself alive and comfortable. Meaning, if you are someone who's not able to do what it is that you wish to do, that identity, that part of you will put up a fight to stay the way it is, to keep the current reality as it is. Why? Because the mind will do whatever it can. The ego will do whatever it can to keep you safe and comfortable. The subconscious mind is there basically to keep you safe. And it basically sees the reality that you wish to manifest into your life as a threat to who you are. Therefore, for you to create that reality, you must go in there. You must be brave enough, courageous enough to just take a step into it, to show your own mind that it's safe for you to go there. And as you do that, alignment will happen, the door will be open, and you will naturally find yourself there. And remember, it's not who you become because of the treasure that you will find in that reality, but it's the journey. It's the journey. It's who you become the moment you even go towards your dreams. Hope this inspired you. I'll see you guys soon. Peace and love. Assalamu alaikum.